What's going on YouTube? JT is Reborn here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic book reviews. And in this video, we're going to be talking about Justice League Night Vision Special number 1. This one is written by Mark Waid and Joshua Williamson, with the artwork done by Miguel Mendonca. And this is like kind of annual week. Well, actually, technically last week at the time like these comic books were released. And I'm like, you know what? The main issues are kind of not going on. We got some annuals going on, and you know, those are much longer issues. They come out every once in a while if there's like a 5th week or something going on during the year. And I figured, you know what, I'll go check them out. And I didn't really get around to reading them until pretty much today. And surprisingly, there was some decent stuff going on with the some of these annuals, and I'm here to kind of give my impressions on them. But yeah, so in the most recent issue of Justice League Unlimited, Batman and Lex Luthor kind of had a shared vision, and it set up kind of this issue right here. So this is a special connected to the events of Justice League Unlimited, written by Mark Waid and Joshua Williamson. And it's a Batman and Lex Luthor kind of team up issue where they kind of connected, and they had a shared image of something going on, and so they were kind of like forced to kind of investigate these kind of weapons dealings in Gotham and trying to figure out what the whole vision thing meant. They end up in a kind of like this house of sorts, and it's run by the character of Prometheus, who's kind of like doing some crazy stuff and all that too. Part of the fun of this, but he also is kind of like, he has this attachment to things, and like with like his mind and all that too. Like there's a device that allows him to kind of see things. Like he can see all the moves Batman and Lex Luthor are going to make, and they're kind of trapped in this house. I don't know what the name of the house is. I think it's kind of similar to the whole House of Mystery thing. And so they're off doing their thing. They have to kind of outwit him in some sort of capacity. And like I said, there's tie-ins to other aspects of the DC universe. Eventually, they're able to kind of get the upper hand against him, and he kind of gets trapped in his place while Batman and Lex escape before being kind of swallowed up whole in this other whole dimensional thing. And basically at the end of the issue, they discover some technology, which is that of Apocalypse. So Darkseid may be gone to them, but it seems somebody is kind of acting on his behalf, and there's a lot of curiosity as to who that might be. And yeah, I've really been enjoying Justice League Unlimited, the stuff with Lex Luthor and the bantering with Batman. So they kind of took that and made it the entire issue here. And having these two characters, each one trying to be like the smartest in the room constantly, and having kind of these clashing egos of sorts, and you know, stuff like that, it always kind of cracks me up, and it's just kind of like fun for me to follow. This is a random ass comparison, but it makes me think of the movie the Great Mouse Detective, where you have Ratigan and Basil, and those two are both like, you know, highly intelligent characters, and there's no thrill than kind of outwitting the other in a way. And but they each have kind of like their own, like, you know, always like their way or the highway, trying to be the smarter one in the room in some capacity. You know, sometimes Batman doesn't have as nearly as big of an ego complex as Lex does, but you know, there still is some stuff going on there where it's kind of their way or the highway, and you know, trying to like they're, you know, be the boss of things and trying to outwit each other and just kind of be like assholes to each other. And that's kind of the fun of this issue, is seeing these two like banter off each other and having them team up, no outside other members of the Justice League. It's just Batman and Lex Luthor, and that's a lot of fun to kind of follow, and that's kind of what makes this issue entertaining for me. Character Prometheus, I'll admit, I'm not as knowledgeable at them. I mean, the character, I'm sure, has gone through all sorts of various changes over the years, and, you know, even in other adaptations. Hell, the Prometheus I'm most familiar with, this is going to be a random thing, is from the TV show Arrow, and that guy was a fantastic villain, by the way. I think what was his name, Josh Segura. Like, that was arguably the best season of that show, and he was an entertainment, but very different than what we see the character in this thing. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, all things considered, I did enjoy this issue. I thought it was pretty entertaining. I like the art style, and I like the banter between Batman and Lex, and it's kind of nice to see like where the pieces of this overall mystery I kind of building towards within the pages of like DC and all that other stuff. I know we got some more events coming up in the near future. I think we got the Zod event going on with Superman coming back, because Superman's actually been out of, you know, DC, like the main stuff, for a little while, and now he's finally coming back. And honestly, like I said, it was a good kind of breather in some ways from him. And yeah, I really enjoyed the stuff with Superboy Prime, and that's still ongoing with that book right now. And you know, obviously you want to have Superman back at some point, but we're going to kind of find out in the issue I'll be covering like right after this, or a video or two afterwards, about what happened with Superman and where he's been the past few months. So we'll get to that in a second, but I want to kind of talk about this one a little bit. And yeah, Batman and Lex Luthor team up, doing some, investigating some arms dealing, leads them into this crazy house, and then finding some weapons that seem to be dealing with that of Apocalypse. So it's either Darkseid or somebody's working with Darkseid, and they thought they were seen the last of them, but now they're wondering, okay, where's this going to go? So yeah, that like I said, that's the issue in a nutshell. It was entertaining, and having to see these two have to kind of work together, these characters that don't like each other and always trying to be the strategist, always trying to be like their way of the highway, smartest one in the room. You kind of get the point. And seeing them kind of clash with each other has been really fun. It's been my favorite part in recent issues of Justice League Unlimited. Just Batman and Lex Luthor just like going kind of at each other in some way, like, you know what I mean? Like, bantering or just disagreements and all that, bickering. That's been kind of fun to follow. I like that dynamic, and I'm intrigued to see more of it in the pages of Justice League Unlimited. It's been very fun to follow, and I think Mark Waid and even like Joshua Williamson are enjoying writing that. So yeah, but anyways, that's all I have to say about this issue. What did you think of it? Post your comments down below. Like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the YouTube channel for more content, hit that bell for notifications, all their fun stuff. I got 3 other DC books I'm going to be covering right after this, so stay tuned, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out.